Hey everyone, I'm going to take a look at the Brazilian League pack that was added to eFootball on Thursday. If you want to hear about a particular player, click in the description because I'll put timestamps in there for each player. As always, we have got 8 players in this pack. There are 3 4-stars. I'm going to start with the lowest rated. We'll start with the left back. We've got Alexandro Bernabéi. So this guy has a face scan. He's an attacking fullback. He's tiny, 169 centimeters. Attacking fullback, can also play on the wing, left wing. Standard form. We've got some attacking skills, nothing defensive though. That's a big concern already. But let's jump over to eFootball Hub to see how good he can be. So we'll max him out, get him fully boosted. And what are we looking at? As with a lot of attacking fullbacks that they give us, we're looking at a lot of pace, good stamina. But when you get to the defensives in the left column, not so much. So it's going to come down largely to what you want from an attacking fullback or from a fullback in general. Obviously, if you want a defensive fullback who's going to be, you know, first and foremost a defender, yeah, he's probably not going to be for you. You probably, in that case, you'd want someone to be a bit bigger, a bit stronger. This guy's small. He's lacking in physical strength. So yeah, if that's your kind of fullback, this guy isn't for you. But if you like an attacking fullback, if you just want loads of pace and stamina, he might do for you, to be honest. He might, you know, as he is with auto allocation, he might work for you. But for me personally, any regulars I think will know by now what I'm going to do. We need to beef him up a bit elsewhere. For me personally, I don't ever really notice a lot of difference in speed once you get into the 90s. So I'm going to immediately scrimp a few points off there. We'll take 4 off lower body. Stamina's kind of borderline at 88, but I think we can get away with that. We do need some points for elsewhere. We'll stick 3 on there, get his lofted pass up to 80. Few on there. What I'd like to do is get his tackling up to the 80 mark. Where can we get some points? We can nick a couple from dexterity. In fact, if we take 2 off aerial as well, it gives us 6 points. That's enough, isn't it? No, it isn't. What am I talking about? Another couple off there. What am I doing? There we go. So if he's not going to be strong as it is, my feeling is might as well take a few more physical contact. I'm not sure everyone would agree with that, but I'm just thinking if he's going to be a very attacking fullback as it is, I'd rather have that tackling gap to the 80 mark than have a few extra physical contact points and have him at 66. I think 62 to 66 is not a huge difference. So I think I'd probably do something like that if I was going to get this guy and train him up. He's still got that really good speed there. Acceleration's down a few, but overall he's still got good pace. Kicking bastard over 80. Yes, he's a bit physically weak, but like I say, I'm just going to focus on what he's good at. Balance still in the 80s at 83. Stamina, like I say, is borderline, but I think 88 is probably just about okay. Defensively now, as I mentioned, we've got attacking up to 80. You're not going to make him good or you know, particularly strong defensively, but tackling for me is an important one. Getting up to the 80 mark on a fullback, I think, is probably worthwhile. We've made him a bit more comfortable on the ball. He is very short. He's got decent balance. He's obviously got the pace. I think he's going to feel pretty decent on the ball. You will still have to watch out for that tight possession, but on the whole, especially with that dribbling at 85, which is great for any fullback, I think he's going to feel pretty reasonable on the ball. And then the low pass, again, you have to be careful with that. It's still not particularly high, but we've got the lofted up to 80. He does have pinpoint crossing. Dipping shot and first time shot, I'm not sure they're going to come in too useful on the fullback. And then the only other skill is gamesmanship. So as I mentioned when we first looked at this guy in game before we came over to eFootball Hub, he needs defensive skills badly. So yeah, if you get this guy and if for whatever reason you do plan to use him regularly, if you're in a part of the world like Brazil where you still get the Brazilian League Challenge, this could be a pretty useful card to have. Certainly if you like attacking fullbacks. Small, nimble, and depending on how you train him, I think it could be useful. For a 4-star card, he actually looks pretty tidy. It's just those skills. Is it worth using skills on him to give him interception, man marking, maybe 1 or 2 other defensive skills? That's up to you. For a 4-star card though, I think he does look decent. But it is a 4-star card. I think primarily the main reason it is a 4-star, not a 5-star, is because he's a bit physically weak, and he's probably just a little bit lacking in some of these other areas. But yeah, outside of the fact he's small and weak, I don't think he's too bad. And just before we move on quickly, he can play as a left winger, so I'll do a quick build as a left winger. So we take all those points back off defending. How much do we need elsewhere? We'll just see how good of a winger we can make him. Yeah, decent. And maybe do something like that. So obviously a left foot's out. We've got that pinpoint crossing. Again, a couple of shooting skills, but even as a winger, I'm not sure how useful that's going to be. He's not got much in his finishing. I don't think it's worth putting many points on there to try and make it better, because you're not going to make it any good regardless. You'd need probably about 15 points on finishing to get it to a point where he's any good at shooting. But you can make his crossing decent. He's got pinpoint crossing, get up to 84. You can get his dribbling up to 90, even if the ball control isn't brilliant and tight possession is still a bit dodgy. Still got great pace there. So yeah, if you use this guy as a winger, I think he could be tidy enough there. So whether you use him as a fullback or a winger, yes, it's a 4-star card. Yes, either way, he's going to be lacking in 1 or 2 areas, but for a 4-star, he's not too bad. But it probably depends largely if you still get the Brazilian League Challenge, because if you don't, and if you're not willing to put the skills on him, then he's going to be probably lacking a little bit. But for a 4-star card, I think you can certainly do a lot worse. Next, we have our other fullback. So now we've got João Pedro. This guy does not have a face scan. He's an attacking fullback again. He's not got the low centre of gravity. He's a pretty average size for a fullback. Inconsistent form, bit of a shame. And no skills. So already we've got a big negative with this guy. That's a big concern. So let's jump over to eFootball Hub and let's see how good this guy actually is. So boost him up. Fully trained, maximum level. How good is he? To be honest, not too dissimilar to Alexandro Bernabéi, to be honest. Sure, they got a different physical profile because this guy is bigger, but good pace. You know, the athletic attributes down the right, apart from balance, which is a bit low. Apart from that, pretty similar to Bernabéi. And then defensives, again, pretty similar level overall. Awareness is quite a bit better, but on the whole, pretty similar. And then again, down the left-hand side, decent dribbling for a fullback, but similar again on the whole. So it's another 4-star fullback where, you know, he's not brilliant. We'll try and kind of shuffle some points around, but skills again. Whereas Bernabéi at least had some attacking skills. This guy's got nothing. He's got nothing going forward. He's not got the crossing, and he's not got the defensive skills. So it's a big concern. I think this is one of those cards where you're going to need some kind of real emotional reason to want this card. You're going to need to be a Gremio fan, for example. Otherwise, I'm not sure he's going to make the grade. But we'll try and just shuffle some points around. We'll take a bit off his pace. I'm going to take 4 off. That frees up 12 points. We have gone down below 90 for speed. It's a bit of a shame, but we need points elsewhere. Only need a couple of increases on defending to get the tackling up to the 80 mark at least. I think defensively now he's all right. Not brilliant, but we've improved him a bit. We can get his crossing up to 80, the lofted pass. I'm not sure I'd do much more. There aren't really any points to take from anywhere else. You could take a few off dexterity, but you'd lose that balance, which is already a bit on the low side. And you've already taken his speed down below 90. So yeah, he's not too dissimilar to Alexandro Bernabéi, the first player we looked at. But the problem with this guy, obviously, like I say, you've not got any skills at all. He's not got that low centre of gravity, so it's not going to feel quite as neat on the ball, albeit he's a bit stronger physically. But yeah, same deal really. It might come down to primarily to whether you still get the Brazilian League Challenge. If you do, he could be used for one to have, but beyond that, yes, he's only a 4-star card. He's not bad for a 4-star card, but he is a 4-star card. He's not as good as most right backs. I think most of us have got better options at this point. So yeah, like I say, if you're a Gremio fan, for example, you might have a real reason, a personal reason to want this guy, but outside of that, very much a 4-star card. Not too bad for a 4-star card, but desperately needs skills, and on the whole, just not a brilliant card really. Next, we have a centre-back. So now we've got Felix Torres. We have a face scan. He's a build-up. We previously had a Player of the Month version when he was playing in the Mexican League. That was a Destroyer card, interestingly. That one's slightly higher rated than this one, but really there wasn't a lot of difference. The points were kind of shuffled around a bit, some higher, some lower. Pretty similar on the whole, really, even though it's slightly high rated. But let's jump over to eFootball Hub. Let's have a look at how good this card is exactly. So max him out, give him the full boost. And to be honest, he looks all right. This is, again, a 4-star card, but for a 4-star card, I do think this guy is quite good. So it would be nice if we could hit 90 on all the defensives. Not quite there on the awareness and the tackling, which is a bit of a shame, but nothing particularly weak there. You know, we see a lot of 5-star centre-backs in Player of the Week where they're not as good as this defensively. So I don't think he's bad defensively at all. Pace, that's fine for a centre-back. Kick and power's all right. Jumping's decent enough. He's about 6'1.5". I think I make that 187 centimetres. So he's a decent height, jumping 88. He does have aerial superiority. So he's going to be fine in the air. Physical contact 86. Oh, I'd like that to be a bit higher. So that's a slight concern, but only a slight one. It's not too bad. Stamina's pretty good for a centre-back. Down the left, not too bad, really. You know, obviously not brilliant, but for a centre-back, I don't think you can ask for a great deal more. So, yeah, if I'm completely honest with this guy, I think for a 4-star centre-back, he's all right. I don't think there's, you know, I'm looking at all his attributes. I don't see anything there where there's much of a weakness. You know, most centre-backs, even 5-star, you'll get at least one attribute, maybe even like the kicking power or the balance, something that's not too important where they'll be a bit lacking, but pretty much everything's okay with this guy. I don't think he's too bad of a card to pick up. If you look at the skills, as I mentioned, we've got the aerial superiority and the heading. We've got interception, acrobatic clearance, 2 important defensive ones. Low to pass, a nice bonus. Fighting spirit's a good one to have. He is lacking man marking blocker, arguably sliding tackle as well, but I think man marking blocker are the two important ones. So if you were going to get this guy and use him regularly, those are the two skills I'd look to put in first, man marking and blocker. But for the most part, he's got good selection skills. They're just 1 or 2 lacking. And in terms of the attributes, like I say, yes, he's only a 4-star centre-back, but like I say, we see some 5-star centre-backs in packs like the Player of the Week packs that I don't think are as good as this. I'm not saying this is a great card, but for a 4-star centre-back, I think a lot of people take one look, see the fact he's a 4-star and think, yeah, he's not going to be any good. But if I got this guy, even outside the Brazilian need change, I think he's usable. Yeah, some of these attributes you'd like him to be a bit higher, but to be honest, I don't see any major weakness. I do like a build-up centre-back as well, so yeah, 4-star centre-back for sure, but given 1 or 2 skills, I think he could be very usable, to be honest. And next we have Ganso. So, we have had a couple of Gansos before. Of course, he has his face scan. He's been in the game forever. Let's go straight over to the hub. Let's see how good this version of Ganso is. So, max him out, fully boosted. It is the best version of Ganso we've had. So, there was a Player of the Week version of Ganso. Wasn't as good as this. And there was also when they changed the classic number 10 playing style, they did a special nominating contract pack with a bunch of players in. I remember that Dybala, Gundogan, and Ganso was in that one. But this version is slightly better. The main difference is that they've added, I think, 4 to his speed compared to that one. And he's got about 2 extra on these 3 on the ball attributes as well. So it is a bit better than that one. It's not massively better. If you got that one, you don't fancy spending coins on this pack, I wouldn't panic, but this is slightly better. Mainly the speeds, like I say, about 4 better. But yeah, it's one of these cards where it's pretty obvious what we're looking at. You're either going to look at these technicals and say, wow, this is a really great card because based on these technicals it is. Or you're going to look at the right hand column here and you're going to say, no thank you, he is slow as hell, no stamina, weak, not very good. So depends on what you want from a card. If you're a real dribbler, you like your quick players, you want to be able to glide past defenders, look away now, he's obviously not that guy, but you want an attacking midfielder to get on the ball, to be tied, comfortable in possession, to be able to pick a pass. He's got some fantastic strengths here. He could really be a good fun card to have. Some people who've got this card, I've got 1 or 2 friends who've tried him, who've got him in that like as I mentioned, that classic 10s pack, and they like him. Said he feels very nice in the ball. But yeah, looking at the skills down here, soul control, heel trick, some nice skills already, but then 1-touch pass and through passing, weighted pass and load off the pass as well. He's all about the passing in this guy, gamesmanship. No shooting skills. If you get him, I think that it's obvious those are the skills you want to put on him, the shooting skills. Don't know if you heard that, something just exploded that side, nice. Long range shooting, long range curler, first time shot, probably be putting those on him first. If you're a dribbler, you might want to put dribbling skills on him, some skill moves, double touch, etc. But without the pace, I'm not sure how effective, how worthwhile it would be putting those skills on him. But certainly he's got the passing skills already. He's going to be fantastic at creating chances for you. If you really don't mind the lack of the athletic ability, then you might want to leave him as he is. If you wanted to rebuild him, if we could make him any different, what could we do? You could certainly nick a bit from his technicals here. I mean, you could, if you're not really bothered about dribbling with the guy, you get down to maybe 8 on dribbling. It's still got fantastic ball control and tight possession, and the dribbling's still decent as well. You can nick a couple from passing. Just thinking, how much could we get on the lower body there? Go up to 12 on lower body. Nudges dexterity up a bit. At least goes balance to 80. Tell you what, I'm nicking a bit more from his passing, because I want to get that kicking power to 90. Is that all I'd do? Probably. It'd be nice if we get the attacking awareness to 80 as well. We would need a couple more points. In fact, why not? We'll nick a couple from shooting. Sneaky. I'd probably do that. I think I did similar when I was reviewing the one in the Classic 10s pack. So now, sure, he's still slow, but we've got a bit more athletic ability on him. But especially that kicking power 90, you do notice the kicking power. Physical contact's not actually bad on this guy. That's the same as it is with auto allocation. So it's still at 73 physical. That's not bad on attacking midfielder. Got the balance over 80. Got stamina up to 80. His attacking awareness is up to 80. Still going to be very comfortable on the ball, even if he's not much of a dribbler as such. Still got the low pass over 90 and good lofted pass. We nicked a couple of finishing, but I don't think you're really going to notice that. I would still consider getting 1 or 2 shooting skills on him. But yeah, to be honest, like I say, it comes down to what you want from an attacking midfielder. If you like your attacking midfielders to be quicker and more nimble, he might not be for you. He's clearly not going to be, like I say, gliding past defenders and so on. But you just want an attacking midfielder to be able to get on the ball, be comfortable in possession, to be able to pick a pass for you and create chances. This could actually be a fantastic card to have. So, yeah, yes, he's 35, he's slow, he's not a great athlete anymore, but depending how you train him, if you do it like this, or if you really don't mind the lack of the athletic ability, just go with the auto allocation. Some of these technicals here are outstanding. You know, there are a lot of legend cards, attacking midfielders, that don't have some of the attributes these high. You know, 99 ball control, 98 tight possession. This guy's technically fantastic. So, yeah, depends on what works for you from an attacking midfielder. But if the strengths that this guy has are the strengths that you look for in an attacking midfielder, it could be a very nice card to have. And now we go straight into another attacking midfielder. So now we have Cauly, not sure how to say that. He doesn't have a face scan. Standard form, creative playmaker, attacking mid or left mid. Let's jump straight over to the hub. How good is this guy? So, maxed out, fully boosted. Not too bad. So again, it's probably a similar deal to Ganso, to be honest. He's not quite as good as Ganso technically, but he's a bit better athletically. So on the whole, pretty similar. We've actually had a previous version of him. I'm not sure what pack that was exactly, but I can see one in there in the database in eFootball Hub, and it's not quite as good as this one. So the best version of this guy that we've had. But yeah, like I say, quite a similar profile to Ganso. It's not the quickest. So if you want a bit of pace on your attacking mids, he's probably not going to be for you. Left midfield, I wouldn't bother. I don't think he's, you know, if you're going to play him out wide, I don't think anyone uses wide midfielders who are lacking pace as much as this guy is. If you do, then maybe you would like him left mid, but I don't think I'll consider him as a left mid. I think he's very much an attacking midfielder. Would I do a great deal with the way the points are allocated? I mean, you could do. It depends where you get the points from. He's got very nice passing there. Let's have a quick look at the skills first, actually. So, yeah, okay, he's got through passing and weighted pass. And outside curler. Some nice skills there with his passing. He's got good passing attributes. One touch pass. If you're going to give him skills, I would give him one touch pass first. I think that's the obvious skill that he needs. And then again, like with Ganso, probably some shooting skills next. First time shot, long range shooting, long range curler maybe. But yeah, even if he doesn't have one touch pass, he's got through passing. Weighted pass, a nice one to have as well. So he's certainly going to be capable of creating chances for you. Very comfortable in possession, good attacking awareness. The finishing isn't too bad, but it could be better. Like I say, I do think he needs those shooting skills. And yes, he's a bit slow, but the acceleration is decent. Got decent kicking power. Balance is pretty good. Not much stamina. Keep an eye on that. But yeah, I think auto allocation probably for a lot of people. If he's your kind of attacking midfielder, if you don't mind the lack of pace, I think auto allocation could work fine. If you wanted a bit more speed on him and a bit more stamina as well, and kicking power, then yeah, let's see. Where can we get the points from for lower body? I don't want to go below 90 on low pass. That's what this guy's all about. He's all about the passing. So if he's not going to be too much of a dribbler, I'm just going to nick a few points from there, to be honest. And low body's only had 4 on, so we can get that up quite a bit, actually. In fact, I'll just go up to 8 on low body, because we can get up to 90 kicking power. The stamina goes past 80, speed 78. You're not going to be able to make him quick. That leaves us with 4 points, and I'm going to stick them on shooting. Yeah, I think that's probably a slightly better build. Yes, you've lost a bit from his on-the-ball attributes, but he's still 90 for ball control. He wasn't too much of a dribbler as it is. I think so. He's still going to be very comfortable on the ball. Still got lovely passing, but got slightly more in his finishing there with a bit more speed. Kicking power to the 90 mark. Again, you will notice that. I do like a bit of kicking power on a player, an attacking player especially. Bit more stamina as well. So yeah, could do with beefing up with 1 or 2 more skills. I think one touch pass, first time shot, long range shooting, long range curler, maybe some of those skills, but he's got some passing skills already. He's going to have some pretty nice passing, pretty comfortable on the ball. He's not an outstanding card by any means, but if you're going to spin this pack for any reason, then yeah, I think you could do worse than this guy. Not brilliant, but certainly very usable. Just depends, again, it depends on what kind of profile you look for in an attacking midfielder. He's not the paciest, but he's certainly got some ability. He can certainly create chances, so you could do worse than this guy. Now we have Lucas Moura. So it's been a while since we saw him in eFootball, certainly in terms of highlight cards. We've got a whole player, Lucas Moura. Still got his face scan. Let's jump over to eFootball Hub. How good is this version of Lucas Moura? So he is better than the previous one. So the one previous version we had was in our Spurs pack way back when he was at Spurs. This one is better. That was a prolific winger. He's down as a right midfielder, but he had the same positions on his chart. He was a prolific winger, which would only be active as a wide right forward, a right wing forward, whatever you call it. This is a whole player. Whole player will be active. SS, which is the registered position on this card, and right midfield. So those 2 positions he'll play as a whole player. He'll be, if you play him as a right wing forward, he'll be playing without an active playing style. I think with Lucas Moura, what you're going to want with this guy, most people would probably want to play this guy wide left. Looking at the attributes, knowing what he's good at. I mean, you know what he's good at before you even look at the card. He's small, he's pacey, he's nimble, he's good on the ball. As a right footer, I think most people would want to use this guy probably as an inverted winger, playing off the left wing. In that regard, it's a little disappointing he doesn't have that position. You can position train his cards, but what I would say is, and this is just my personal recommendation, you can put him in that position in the game plan and then change him to an SS, so you can actually play him there. And if you play him there as an SS, he will have an active playing style. He'll be playing as a whole player wide left if you play him as an SS there. If you position train him to play left wing forward and you play him as a left wing forward, he won't have an active playing style. So just my personal opinion, but I would personally say if you do want to play him there, just make him an SS wide left, then you don't have to position train him, and he will have an active playing style of whole player, which I think is pretty effective from playing out wide as an SS. So just one thing to consider there, but I do think that's probably where he's going to be best, as an SS wide on the left. But looking at the attributes he's got, pretty tidy. He's rapid, he's got great balance, he's pretty nice on the ball. Just a bit of a lack of end product, mainly with the passing. To be fair, his finishing is not too bad. We could probably nudge that finishing up, actually. Where could we nick a point? One off dribbling, one onto shooting. Boom, job done. That's easy enough. I'd probably just do that, to be honest. You're not going to make his passing particularly great. If you look down the skills, not a lot of end product. We've got long range shooting, that's a good one, but I would want to give him long range curler, certainly. If you are going to play him wide left especially, I think long range curler is probably the first skill you'd want to put on this guy. But we've got long range shooting, maybe first time shot, and then I think with the pack, his passing is a little bit on the low side. One touch pass and through passing would certainly help. He's got a bunch of skill moves. The dribblers are probably going to like this guy. He's a super sub as well, so a tricky, pacey winger who's a super sub, always a handy one to have. One or two skills I'd want to put on him, but like I say, he looks pretty decent. I wouldn't do a great deal else apart from nudging his finishing up by one, which probably won't make a great deal of difference, but it does look nicer. But he looks pretty nice, to be honest. He's quick, very nice on the ball, nimble, responsive, fairly low centre of gravity. Yeah, like I say, with that passing being a bit low, I don't think I'd want to play him in that central area behind the attack. I don't think his passing is quite good enough, but as an SS playing off the left flank, I think he could be pretty neat. Off the right flank, if you're going to be cutting inside, getting into central areas, sure, he could be decent as well. I'm not saying he's bad or he can't be used in those positions, but I think this guy primarily would be great as an inverted winger coming off the left flank. If you use him like that, I think this is a pretty good card, to be honest. Certainly as a super sub. He's got a bit of a lack of pace. I think the one thing that previous version from the Spurs pack did have over this one was a bit more stamina. But this one, especially as a super sub, because if you start him, he's going to get tired by the lack of stamina. But if you keep this guy on your bench as a super sub, he looks pretty neat, to be honest. So yeah, especially for the dribblers, if you like the quick dribblers with the skill moves, could be a very nice one for you. But just regardless, as one of these pacey attacking players, yeah, it's a pretty decent card. And like I say, the best version of Lucas Moura we've had. And at the age he's at, I'm not sure how many other versions we're going to be getting of him anytime soon. So it might be a decent one to pick up, to be honest, if you like this guy. And now we have a centre midfielder, Lucas Evangelista. He's a box-to-box. He's had a change of play style fairly recently. We've had previous versions of this guy. I don't know why he's still not got a face scan. He's been playing very well in Brazil for a while now. I think he's been deserving of a face scan for a while, but the situation with the licensing and the face scans in Brazil has been dire for a while now. But yeah, let's jump over to eFootball Hub. How good is this version of Lucas Evangelista? Max him out, fully boosted. It's decent. The question is how you use him, to be honest. So we've had one better version of this guy that was in a Player of the Week pack. We had a Player of the Week version, but I don't know when that was. Must have been quite a while ago because I don't remember it, but it is better than this one. It's a pretty nice looking card, actually. It's a whole player, and it is an upgrade on this one. So if you got that one, you don't need this one. We've also had a previous Brazilian League pack version of this guy, which, yeah, wasn't as good as this one. It was a creative playmaker, though. Different playing style. And also didn't have standard form. To be honest, it's pretty similar to this one. Not a lot of difference, but yeah, I think this one's slightly better. Different playing style, but this does have regular form instead of inconsistent, which it did have on the previous one. But yeah, it depends how you use him. We've got a few positions we can play here. The speed isn't too bad, but low acceleration, I don't think I'll consider position training for out wide. So we're looking at defensive mid, centre mid, attacking mid. Looking at the defensive attributes. He's got 4 points already in defending. I don't think we can really afford to spare many points from elsewhere. I would not consider this guy as a defensive midfielder. Just check the skills quickly. Yeah, there's nothing defensively, so I'm not going to even think about this guy being a defensive mid. Going forward, though, double touch, long range curler, long range shooting, dipping shot. So he's got some shooting skills, one touch pass, through passing, weighted pass, got the passing skills as well. Gamesmanship and track back, nah. But the shooting and passing skills are there. Finishing isn't brilliant though, so don't ask too much from with his finishing, even with those shooting skills. But his finishing certainly won't be too bad. Passing great though, got the passing skills, good passing attributes. That's the real strength with this guy. He's got great kicking power actually, 94, very nice, good stamina as well. So yeah, defensive midfielder, not for me. As a centre midfielder, I would certainly shuffle some points around. So I think we'd have to scrimp some points from somewhere. I'm going to nick a few from passing. Not too many, though, obviously, for a centre mid. But we do need to make him a bit better in some other areas. Not just balance up to 80. We can nick one from there. Can we make him better defensively? Yeah, I'd probably do that as a centre midfielder. So if you're going to play him as a centre mid, box to box, you need a bit of everything. He would probably need the interception skill at least. Maybe one or two other defensive ones if you're going to use him centre mid and if you were willing to put the skill trainings on him. But yeah, still pretty good passing. He's got the passing skills. On the ball, not amazing on the ball. He's okay though for a centre mid. Defensively, we've made him a bit stronger. More competent at least in the middle, even if he's not particularly strong defensively. The pace is okay for a centre mid. The kicking power is great. Jumping's decent. Physical contact's okay as well. Balance decent enough. Stamina great. So yeah, on the whole, he looks all right as a centre mid, but he needs one or two skills. I don't think he's anything too amazing. So again, it's one of these ones where unless you've got a real reason to want this guy, if you support Red Bull Bragantino, who he plays for, then you might really want him. But I don't think he's anything special as a centre midfielder otherwise. But if we trained him as an attacking midfielder, what would we do as an attacking midfielder? So we don't need the defensive points as an attacking mid. What are we going to do? We're going to take a couple on. I'll leave the shooting for now, actually. A couple more on dribbling, gets ball control to 88 at least. Probably just do that, I think. It'd be nice to get the attacking race up to 80, but I just don't know where we're going to get the points from. So yeah, not changed too much there. Just made him a bit better on the ball primarily. So yeah, again, is he any good as an attacking mid? He's alright. He'll be playing without an active playing style because box to box won't be active attacking mid. He's tidy enough on the ball. His passing is decent, especially with those passing skills. Attacking awareness is decent. Finishing, not too great, but he's got those shooting skills. He's got very good kicking power. The pace is alright at attacking mid. We've got a bit more acceleration on him. Decent physical contact for an attacking mid. Balance is decent enough, just about. Stamina is good. So yeah, whether you use him as a centre mid or attacking mid, if you get this guy, he could be a usable one. He could be okay, but I'm not sure he's worth spinning for, certainly. So yeah, I think most of us probably have better options than this guy, to be honest. And even for a 5-star, it's not the best card, although it's not a bad one by any means. I just don't think he's one to get particularly excited about. And we finish up with Felipe Anderson. So he's at Palmeiras now. He's previously at Lazio, West Ham before that, I think. So creative playmaker, still got his face scan, standard form. Let's jump over to the hub. How good is this version of Felipe Anderson? He is pretty decent. So we've had a player of the week, Felipe Anderson. That's quite a while back now. That version of him had more end product. His passing and finishing was better, but he didn't have as much dribbling or as pace as this one. And we've had a previous version of him that was in a Serie A pack when he was at Lazio. This one is better than that one. So this is a decent version of Felipe Anderson. You can see what the qualities are, like with Lucas Moura. Pace, dribbling, that's really what this guy's all about. Let's go straight down to the skills. We've got a few skill moves. We've got long range curler. That's a good one if you play him off the left wing. Heel trick's nice. But beyond that, I think he needs a bit more, certainly end product. So I think one touch pass, through passing, long range shooting, first time shot. Again, similar skills to what we talked about with Lucas Moura. I'd look to put those skills and beef up his end product really, but yeah, it's a question of where you play him. I don't think you can make his passing good enough to make him a number 10, so I wouldn't play him as an attacking mid, probably not even SS, although you could get away with that certainly. Up front, you can't get as a finishing and attacking when it's both high enough to make him a good centre forward in my opinion. Right wing, as a right footer who's not going to be great at crossing, I don't know really if he's going to be that good playing right wing, but certainly off the left wing, as I mentioned, I think that's where he's going to be best. Like with Lucas Moura, inverted winger, cutting inside into his right foot. He does have long range curler, very important skill to have if you're going to use him that way. He's got the pace, he's got the ability on the ball as well. Balance isn't amazing, but it's decent enough. Kicking power's okay, decent stamina, good attacking awareness. It's just that end product's a slight question mark. Nothing's terrible there, but you want a bit more. So as I mentioned with the skills, yes, he's got long range curler, but I would add one or two shooting and passing skills to really improve his end product a bit. I think that's important. You could tweak the way the points are allocated. You can nick a couple off his on the ball attributes to still be 90 plus, and then I'll probably just put them straight onto. I don't know. I guess it depends what you want from him. If you want to focus mainly on the shooting, put it all on finishing. If you're more concerned with the passing, you put it all on passing, but it just depends on what you're more concerned with. You could actually nick one from dexterity, still be at 90 acceleration, get another one on shooting. Yeah, I think it's a decent card to be honest. I think it's another one of these cards where it's probably one for the dribblers. You know, if you like your pacey, nimble, dribbly types on the wings with their skill moves, he could be a really nice card to have. Again, he's not an elite level card. None of these cards are absolutely top tier cards by any means, but there are some decent usable ones in there. I think Felipe Anderson and Lucas Moura, for the types of card they are, very similar. I think they could be decent ones to have. They could be pretty fun cards to use on the wings. Good fun to get on the ball and dribble at defenders with. Just a slight question on the end product, but if you gave him a few skills to beef up his end product, I think it could be a decent card to pick up, to be honest. It should feel pretty fun on the ball. So there you go. There's your Brazilian League pack. I'll be honest, when I first saw this pack, I had a quick glance and I was thinking, hey, you know what, this isn't a great pack, and I wasn't sure if it's going to be worth doing a review of it. I said I was going to review these guys on the stream, but when I had a quick look in preparation for the stream, I was looking at the cards and I actually decided, you know what, it's not a great pack, but I think it probably is just about good enough to be worth doing a video for it, hence why I've done this video. So yeah, you got a few in there who probably not many people are going to be too keen to get these fullbacks. I think Bernabéi could be usable as a left back or a left winger, but not anything special, but certainly not as bad as maybe he looks at first. João Pedro, pretty similar to Bernabéi, but without that low centre of gravity and without that little bit of attacking ability, I'm not sure that this right back guy, João Pedro, is too great, to be honest. He's probably the weakest in the pack for me. Lucas Evangelista is one of the 5 stars, but as much as he's not a bad card, I don't think there's anything special. There's nothing really about him that looks too exciting to me. Felix Torres, I think a lot of people will look at, and they'll take one look and see a 4-star, and they'll just think, nah, he's not going to be for me. They won't look twice, but if you do look twice, you have a good look at him. I think he's quite decent, to be honest. I think for a 4-star, he's very decent. He's a very usable card, actually. I've got the other version of him. It's a Destroyer card, and to be honest, it's maybe objectively a little bit better in terms of the rating being a bit higher, but I'm not too keen on it. He's a Destroyer, he gets caught out of position a little bit, albeit that's not such an issue for me now because apparently I'm not allowed to play the Mexican League Challenge anymore, so I don't have any reason to use him, but I do prefer build up, and I do think it's a decent card, to be honest. But all the other cards in this pack are the best version of the player that they've been so far in the game. These guys, the first version we've had of them. Ganso, the 3rd time we've had a version of him, is the best version we've had. This guy, Cauly, however you say it, best version we've had of him. There's only been one previous one. But like Ganso, 2 attacking mids who, yeah, they're not the quickest, not going to be amazing at dribbling and skilling, but getting them on the ball, picking a pass, creating a goal, both look pretty decent, to be fair. And then these other 2, Felipe Anderson and Lucas Moura. If you like these guys in real life, you'll know what they're all about. They're quick, they're nimble, they're good on the ball. Right foot as well, I think would be best coming off the left flank. And they're the best versions of them that we've had in the game so far, like I say. And I think they're pretty decent cards. So yeah, not an amazing pack. There's a few in there that probably aren't going to be too great for many people, but there's certainly some cards in there that you might well be able to get some good use out of. There could be some decent cards in there for you. So there you go. Hopefully you found that useful. I will be doing a live stream, like I say. This will be going live Monday morning. I'm recording it late on Sunday. So hopefully I'll catch you for the live stream Monday afternoon and going live about 3 PM UK time. I might have another quick look at this pack. I'll be looking at a few other packs and I'll be doing some golden goals. So yeah, hopefully catch you for that. And like I say, hopefully you found this one useful. Thank you for watching. As always, do appreciate it. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon.